With the release of Spider-Man Brand New Day, I want to rank every live-action Spider-Man film from best to worst, or in this case, worst to best. So let's get at it. In last place, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This has to be last place. The movie was a mess, plain and simple. Harry Osborn was awful. The Peter's dad conspiracy plot, it felt false and pointless, and it wasn't going to go anywhere. And Electro, oh my god, I mean, come on. This goofy origin story, the man falls into a tank of electric eels and becomes a blue light bulb. And then him in his civilian clothing, I mean, it was a joke through and through. I mean, who even wrote this? Then Harry becomes the Goblin with zero humanity, zero build-up and zero logic. His whole motivation was, give me your blood, Spider-Man. And then even Spider-Man was apprehensive, and this is his best friend. I mean, do something to help the guy. Give us something deeper than this. His transformation felt so rushed. The villains were cartoonish, the plot was chaotic, and the movie just collapsed under its own noise. But the ending with Gwen's death was genuinely incredible. It was emotional, it was amazing. Spider-Man was alone, broken, grieving, and that final moment is the best thing in the film. Not only that, the visuals in this film were truly phenomenal, but it wasn't enough to carry the film. Next, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 1. This one, it isn't terrible, it's just unnecessary. They remade the original Spider-Man, but worse. Uncle Ben dies over chocolate milk. Peter isn't nerdy, he's basically a skater boy with swag. The origin story, it just felt rushed and weaker than Raimi's version. The villain, it just felt somewhat formulaic. The scientist losing his funding, experimenting on himself, he became a monster. Exactly the same plot as the first Spider-Man, but it just didn't hit the same. What does work though, again, is the chemistry between Peter and Gwen, Andrew and Emma. They carried this film. The visuals again were great, the action was sharp, and this Spider-Man just felt a bit more confident and stylish. But because the original exists, that just makes this feel like a downgrade. Next, we have Spider-Man 3, the conclusion to the Raimi trilogy. Well, kind of. There's some good stuff in here. You know, Peter's life was going really well. He got the girl. Well, he actually got two girls. The symbiote power was amazing. And then the downfall when, you know, he loses everything. He loses MJ. It was a good twist in the film. But MJ through this entire film was so annoying. And Harry always scheming. Especially the ending when his butler tells him it was his father's own blades that killed him, and it wasn't Spider-Man in the first place. Like, come on. Tell him that 2 films ago. And I felt like the writing was the biggest issue. It just didn't come together neatly. Venom, he was a bit of a miss if I'm being honest with you. His motivation was quite poor. He just lost his job because of his own doing. And he didn't look great either. I think Sandman was quite solid in the end. He was just a father trying to help his daughter. But the film, overall, it just tried to juggle too much. The symbiote storyline is definitely the strongest part. But overall, the film was just a bit too messy. Next, we have Spider-Man Far From Home. It's definitely the weakest of the Tom Holland trilogy. Mysterio had potential, but the twist where he was just a guy with the drones, it just felt weak. And I feel like the Spider-Man films live and die by their villains. And this one, it just doesn't deliver, unfortunately. I did, however, enjoy the slice of life stuff. It was great. Peter, MJ, Ned, the kids at school, all their interactions felt real and fun. But the setting, it being in Europe, the tone, the villain, the stakes, it all just felt slightly off. It was a good movie, but it wasn't great. I will say the last action scene with Spider-Man against Mysterio in that corridor was phenomenal. Next, we have Spider-Man Homecoming. It was a fantastic reboot. Skipping the origin story was perfect. We don't need to see Uncle Ben die again. Vulture in this film was one of the best villains in the entire franchise. And I feel if it wasn't for Sam Raimi's original trilogy, this could easily be top 3. Vulture, he felt great, he sounded great, he looked great, he was dangerous, he was motivated. And then the twist in the car when we find out it was his date's father, amazing. Iron Man's involvement really worked in this film. The high school setting also works, and Peter feeling like an actual kid learning the ropes. It was brilliant. Next, we have Spider-Man No Way Home. And the biggest benefit this film has is it's carried by nostalgia, and it works. Seeing Toby again, seeing Andrew again, seeing all those classic villains again, the cinema went insane. The final battle with the three Spider-Man versus all the villains, it was brilliant. The emotional ending, the loss of Aunt May, it was all incredible. But the first half of the movie was a bit rough in my opinion. The Doctor Strange fight felt a bit messy at the start, the weird plot point of the spell. And then, like I said before, the Spider Man films are built on their villains. And in this film, they just brought every villain ever into one film. It was a bit messy, but at the same time, it was okay. I still feel like the Green Goblin just stole the show throughout. William Defoe he just doesn't miss. Overall, it had a flawed start, but a phenomenal finish. Next, we have the original Spider-Man. The original, the classic, the blueprint. It was cartoonish, it was dramatic, it was emotional, everything a superhero film should be. Peter struggled, it felt real. He got bullied, he was awkward, he was broke, he was just trying to survive. The origin story was iconic. Uncle Ben's death was amazing. Green Goblin was one of the greatest villains ever, full stop. And the biggest thing is, the world doesn't revolve around Peter. He's a small fish in a big pond, and you feel that. The duality between Peter being an awkward little nerd and Spider Man being this amazed, beloved hero, it was unmatched. This film built the foundation for every Spider Man movie that followed. And at first place, we have Spider Man 2, one of the best superhero films ever made. In this film, Peter is at his lowest point. He loses his powers, he's mentally broken, he's failing school, he's failing work, MJ's engaged, his aunt is struggling with her mortgage, the city overwhelms him, everything's falling apart in this film. Doc Ock, he isn't even a villain, he's a tragic man who lost everything. His wife died, his dream collapsed, and he blames Spider-Man. Peter's arc was amazing as well, accepting the burden of being Spider-Man is phenomenal. And you don't see that in the other films. You don't see the burden of your alter ego being so great, but yet when you come back to reality and you're just you, and you're just a nobody, oh, it was an amazing arc. Not only that, the action scenes were brilliant. The train fight scene is legendary. The emotional weight is unmatched. This film is timeless. And there you go. Those are my Spider-Man films, all ranked. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, please subscribe and leave a comment. What do you want to see next? Bye.